The following program is brought to you in living color.
This is about the second of the only 2 books printed on the life of Wah Chang. Now, the thing that sets this book aside from the earlier work we saw in the last review is pretty much basic. It was written by Glenn Chang, the wife of Wah Chang, and David Barrow. So it truly is an insider's book. As a matter of fact, if you look inside this insider's book, you'll see some pretty interesting things, like mine, signed personally by Wah Chang. I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever seen another single Wah Chang signature ever before, although I'm sure there's some of them out there. The other thing that's interesting is on the copyright page, you'll see the copyright's actually owned by Wah Chang. So you could almost say this is autobiographical in nature. It begins with a lot of the same kind of background that you got in the other book about his early life as a child and the successes, but it doesn't focus on any of the struggles that he faced. Instead, it opts to focus solely on his work. Think of this as almost being a portfolio of types. And unlike the previous book, this one has lots of beautiful pictures in color. That's Dennis the Menace. Now, he originally made one of these at the author's request for Dennis the Menace. I understand he actually made several more before it was done. They're scattered throughout the United States. Sometimes, as you can see here, the power of his illustrations were in their simplicity, the soft curving of the lines with little delineation between the subjects in the actual piece of art. Now, I think a lot of his styling that we see in the sculptures that he did showed up in some of his earlier work, obviously for Disney and others. There's an almost stereotypical caricature of the creature that he's actually sculpting.
Hi, I was watching your untold story of the Klingon D7. I found it nice, light, and fun. I prefer your type of broadcast versus those that disparage the series, talking about how bad the special effects were and so forth. I don't like those type of videos. I like the ones that celebrate the idea behind Star Trek, the original series, one of the most successful sci-fi franchises in history. And I like the celebration of optimism that the series puts forward. And I found your broadcast informative and nice. My name is Richard Bennett. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Sculpting. Now, not a lot is in this book about his work in television and movies, but it is there, and it does have some photographs I had never seen before. For instance, one of the most amazing pieces that I marveled at as a child without even knowing that it was him for another, 30 years, is that incredible headdress that Elizabeth Taylor wore in Cleopatra. I remember my mother loved that movie so much, and she had told me, and I don't know how true this is, but she had told me that that entire headdress and associated train was like 50 pounds. Whether it was really 50 pounds or not, the fact that it looks like it actually could have weighed that when you see the movie illustrates his intense craftsmanship even all the way back then. Now, there's very little in this book that is about Star Trek, other than the photographs you saw, maybe a paragraph or two, because the book focuses on his evolution as an artist. When you consider that his first gallery showing was at 8 years old, that evolution transcended all mediums and left us with a remarkable body of work. Now, like the other book that we looked at before, this one can be very difficult to find. It is actually the far more difficult one to find of the two. The link in the description, as usual, always work. Do not be disheartened if all you find are expensive copies or no copies at all. They do occasionally creep through. At the time of this video, as you can see from the screen grab, there were 2 copies available on Amazon before between $150 and $250 a piece. I've seen it as high as $450.
So now let's get up with the fun stuff, like this right over here.